Welcome. Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing tonight? We're glad you guys can join us with this Who Fights More for Relationships, men or the women? So we're going to give you some answers. But let's first check in with everybody. Hey, Doc, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm tired, but I'm
You're
good.
tired.
I am really sleepy. I'm falling asleep all day. I'm really sleepy. I don't know. I don't know. I think I got up too early, too many days this week.
You'll hear that? Got up too early, too many days this week. Some of us have the life we see.
Yes, I am so tired tonight.
How about you, Ruth? How are you doing today?
I'm doing today a little tired myself too, Doc. Had a lot of running around errands, and as I said prior to the show coming on, folks out there seem to be a little grumpy today. So there wasn't a good energy when I had to interact out there. But I brought it back, woosawed it back, and I'm ready to go. So thanks for asking.
It's very interesting that people would be grumpy today with the weather being, for me, ideal.
Yeah.
Right? It's kind of getting to where it needs to be. So it was all sunshine and smiles over here.
And that's a good thing, because I just think some people, they're not affected by the good weather. They're grumpy 24/7.
And I think some people are, trying to get used to, again, the crowds.
Maybe that's it. Maybe that's
it. The traffic seems like it's been
maybe that's a piece of it.
Mm-hmm. It seems like everybody's out.
Yeah. You know what? I will say people, over the last couple of years, this is the first time I think people are outside without the fear hanging over their head of anything. I think you're right. So we're just outside. So now it's warm. Mm-hmm. I know I was working out at the park a couple of times and jam-packed.
Mm-hmm. Everywhere it's jam-packed. You're right.
So many people are out enjoying the nice weather. Like they don't want to be inside.
Which is nice, but keep the tude at home.
Right. Are you sure it was a tude?
It was, trust me.
Okay.
We were in the market and
Well, when you bump them with the cart in the back of their heel, they're going to be upset.
I didn't touch that lady. I should have run her over. I should have run her over the way she backed.
It's all coming out, guys. It is all coming out. When you dive a little deeper, you start seeing what happened.
She's a grump. That's all I know. She's lucky I'm a calm person. Anyway.
So let's get to it. Let's talk about some things tonight. Who fights more for their relationship, and how do they fight? So we're gonna look at it from a couple different perspectives. I'll start by I saw some things where it could be kind of how we're kind of raised, meaning they said sometimes women are more affected by negative energy or negative things in a relationship, right? As opposed to men who may not outwardly show these things. They may not react as, a woman may, when we say the woman is nagging, because she's reacting to something, as opposed to the man might not say as much, which will lead women to leave. Now that's backed up. Go ahead, Doc.
I was going to say that's the information I'm seeing is that men have a harder time coping with the relationship stressors. So they'll keep them to themselves because they have no release.
Right.
So all that is that internal stuff building up over time that never gets to go anywhere.
And then, so in your study, did it say that with the lack of coping, did they now end the relationship?
No, it didn't say that they end the relationship.
Right. So would that be a form of coping?
Staying in a bad relationship?
Right. If you're like, all right, she's gonna nag, I'm just gonna get over it. I'm not gonna really complain about it. I'm just gonna get over it.
But the problem is you don't get over it. You stuff it. You stuff it. You don't really get over it.
Well, we do, unless it's having an outward effect. Like unless you're, it's coming out in a certain way. You not responding to something is a way of coping.
Yes. But it's a way of pretending it's not happening, though. So I would say that coping would be or no, I would say that managing it and getting over it would be talking about it and finding a solution for it, as opposed to just saying, I'm going to accept this nagging
Mhm.
and deal with it.
Well, see, again, I think, again, this is a way to cope, because once you have this conversation 9,000 times about nagging about the same thing, you would be silly to enter into the same conversation again, expecting a different result.
Of
I think
course,
that's called something. It's called something. I don't know what it's called.
Well,
Something.
I'd venture to say that if you have a partner that doesn't listen to you, that's a different problem.
Mm.
But again, most of these relationships do come with problems because people are not whole, right? So you're in these relationships already. You don't have the plethora, I can't say it, the amount of knowledge we have here, right? So you may not be getting, you don't have a doc in your corner who can really give you the technical terms or what is going on. So when you're going through things, sometimes you're like, you know what, my level is just, you know what, I'm just going to ignore it. I talked about it. I tried. I seen someone, Dr. Phil, say you talk about it. I tried to talk. It didn't work. It just made it worse. So I'm just going down. I'm not going to say nothing about it.
But like
or I'm okay you to death. Okay.
Okay.
But like
Okay.
Doc said,
You heard nothing she said.
but is that a healthy response? Because you are suppressing and you are building the resentment, even though you look like you're going through the motions of the relationship.
So I think that, either way, I think in relationships, there's certain things that you just know your partner's going to do and you start to ignore it, right? I think there's certain things that this is how you get along. You're not going to get anybody perfect, and people are going to come with issues. And I think at a certain point, if you can ignore it, now the resentment part would be the issue, right? If you start to resent them, now that becomes more of a problem. But if you can just ignore it and, kind of move on from like, all right, she's going to do this. I know she's going to do this. All right, I'm not going to trip over it. I think that's, for some people, the best you have, right? If that can just alleviate whatever's going on into the next nag, then okay.
But then I do think that built up resentment might lead to what you're saying, the leave, if you will. It's like one more time and that's it for me.
Stats don't really back that up. The statistics show that women leave about, I think it was 75% of the time women are dissolving relationships.
I did see that. This is what I saw. It's a stereotype that men more often leave their wives. Actually, women are more likely than men to initiate divorces.
Right.
Okay.
Men don't stick around and cheat.
They stick around and cheat is what I wanted to say. Yeah.
Let's stop that narrative too. Because then I'm saying, well, if we're going to go with that narrative, what we can say is that women decide to leave because of the financial gain.
Okay, we're back on
so
that.
You're going to leave because it's financially benefited for you because of the justice system, which is going to really pay you out.
Maybe.
So if
he got any, if he
has money, exactly.
Well, if whatever he has is more than probably she has, right? Because men make more than women.
No. The women make more than the men. You forgot that.
That's a farce once again. In no reality, do most women make more than most men?
These days I thought we were changing in that stat.
No, we're not changing. What we're seeing is that definitely with Black women being the ones more degreed, but we're seeing today that we see today that most time your degree, you're not even working in that field, right? So you may be the most degree, but doesn't mean you have a job in your field or a job that matches your degree.
Okay.
We see that's big today, right? Okay. So women are earning money, but it's still not on par with what men are doing. It's not. So yeah. So
or what they can
likely,
get.
Right, and we're talking again, and again, when we're talking, we're usually broad brushing, and the big picture, and usually the woman is going to make out from the divorce.
Okay.
Right. Usually she's going to, especially if there's kids involved and things of that nature, because I think it's staggering. I think the numbers are like almost like 90% of the time women get custody of the kids, or
I think sometimes they be putting too much emphasis on that.
Right. They go to the kids. And sidebar, I was looking at a study.
Go with your daddy.
Go with daddy.
I see y'all on the weekend.
Well, that's your pride kicking in, and them kids come with a check. Once again, it goes back to the money. You want to be paid to raise your kid.
Come
But
on.
that's
It depends on your value system. Because
again, we're broad brushing. We're broad. We're not saying everybody. And again, we're just putting this out there. But I was looking at a study, and this is kind of off topic, where it showed that if kids are in their bio home, they're less likely to go to jail. Right? It kind of goes without saying. They're less likely to go to jail. Children in a single parent home with only a mother, it's like 75-80% chance of going to jail. The numbers just jump off the charts.
Is that all races, or is that a statistic about African Americans?
It was across the board. From what I saw, I thought it was across the board. Now I'll check, but then they said in homes where it was just a father in the home, the numbers where it was just a father in the home actually reflect the numbers of a dual parent home of the children. So children do much better in a home with only a father. So not saying they should just be with the father, because they both need both, but it just shows the amount of effect that a father in that child's life has, basically. Right? It's having a man around, the father of that child around, is very, very, very important to that child's, like I said, not that the mother does it, but it's just that something with the man helps to maybe instill some, the rules or whatever the case may be. I don't know, but that's what studies are showing. It's very interesting. That was very interesting. But back to the topic. So it looks like, and again, everything I saw with where women are the ones who are usually the ones breaking up, right? What do you guys think? What do you think in the breakup? Are women leading the charge? Are men leading the charge? 50-50? What do you think?
I don't know.
I would be right. Go ahead, Doc.
No, I was going to say, just from my own experience in doing couples counseling and for many years, I would say that the vast majority of the people wanting to lead the relationship is the woman.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. But sometimes she tries to mitigate the problems by going to therapy. And she'll try that first so that she can say, I've done everything. Now I'm out.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting. I would like to see the numbers on that. Who initiates therapy? And I would think it would be the woman as well, because again, from what I've read, everything I read, women are more emotionally connected to things, and they may want to fix it, as opposed to like the man is internalizing it, keeping it in. May not. Again, we're not really taught to speak or talk about our feelings, which is a big problem we have. That we teach our men to play. Our boys to play baseball, and be tough, but we don't teach us how to be, how to talk, how to be emotionally available, and things of that nature. So that leads to, that's a big problem we're having. That's what we're being taught.
Yes. It is. If you're talking about some stats on how people are handle cheating, I saw something where they talked about, based on physiology and how we're wired and things we're taught, right, that most of the time the man is taught to confront the other man.
Could do what to him?
Confront him. Go beat up the other guy.
Okay.
Right.
And women are taught to kind of be more psychologically aggressive towards the other woman.
Okay.
Calling her, maybe even spreading rumors about her, doing stuff that'll affect the person's reputation or how they feel about themselves, or even how they feel about the man.
Right. And I think it's about aggression. I think men, again, broad brush, are usually more aggressive. And we handle things with fisticuffs. Put them up. So, that's why usually for men, we know most of our encounters can end in, physical combat.
Yeah.
Like that's always a possibility when men get into it. So if you get into, as a man, I know if I get into another man, I know that's a physical altercation can take place through this argument. Because sometimes, especially if you lack the words to express yourself, then it's going to go right to physical altercation. Again, since women sometimes aren't as aggressive, like I said, they're going to do other things. They're going to call you, be in your inbox, talk, girl, well, what happened? Well, where did you meet you at? You know, men really, I'm not calling them to see where y'all met at. You know what I mean? I'm calling to see where you're at right now. Where you at?
Yeah. Not how you know my girl, but where are you at right now?
And it's interesting that the man might go, you know, try to find where the other man is at or what happened with that piece. But before he'll even go to his lady and say, what's up? What happened here? You think?
Well, it's, I think the same reason, because, you know, you don't want to, you can't go home and knock your girl head off, right?
No,
so
I mean,
to take it out.
Yeah.
Right. I can't talk about it if I'm not in my right state of mind. So I got to go get some steam off, right? Knock his block off before I can come back. Like, why would you mess with that lame? You know, but I think sometimes you have that energy that needs to get out. And I need to touch somebody. So let me go holler at Cleophas over here. And
got it. Okay.
See what's up.
See what happened there. Okay.
Right.
And even if you have someone that's emotionally intelligent enough that he can express himself, that doesn't look right to another man. You know,
True.
If he goes say, "Hey, dude, why? You know, I heard you was messing with my girl. That's making me sad. Why you? You know, that's not a good look."
That's true.
That's going to get you beat up twice. Calling me, and that's what I was going to bring that up too, right? If you did try to have a conversation about your girl, somebody taking your girl down, that would be like, yo, you're really soft. Get off my phone.
See? Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's how it would be taken. Like, I'd be like, you calling me to talk about me taking your girl down? Get up. That's why she over here.
Okay.
Matter of fact, send her back over here now. Go tell her to come over.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, listen, you gotta remember, for me, if you start to cower, now it's up. Now it's up. Now I'm going all the way in. Once you start doing things that I see like you're soft, what? Yeah, hey, give her some money and tell her to come over here.
But Darrell,
bring me a root beer.
Why is communication from male to male considered soft?
We kind of talked about it where we don't, sometimes since we're aggressive and maybe we don't have the words and we jump right to anger maybe. That's why, if we're not in a position to, again, we're taught to play sports. We're taught to be rugged. We're taught to use our hands. That's what we're taught to do. We're not taught to conflict resolution. If we're taught more conflict resolution, we wouldn't be killing each other in the streets the way we are.
Yeah.
So since we don't have conflict resolution, we just want conflict.
Yep.
Right? We're looking for it. And now you're on the list because you touched my girl. So when you have the guy like, which kind of like, it's not really my fault, bro. I don't have no loyalty to you. If your girl came over here, that's on your girl.
Right.
So when someone starts talking to you like that, that makes it even worse. Because again, remember, a lot of us are ego driven. Your ego is already hurt because somebody took something that was supposed to be yours, right? So sometimes that's why you fight the dude, because it's not even about the girl as much as, you took something in mine, bro. You was in my sandbox, right? Yeah, what you doing? Right. What you doing on my block? You ain't supposed to be on this block. So it becomes more of an ego thing. And that's why you go right at that person.
Yeah.
The anger is really at her, but you really take it out on the person who you shouldn't be.
Right. Right.
Exactly.
But I even wonder in that situation, how many men leave? You said cheating. Doctor said something about cheating and leaving, or no?
Yeah. No, I said that
Insane, right?
men will stay. They'll stay and cheat. That's what I said.
Yes.
I was making a joke, but a lot of times they might stay and stuff. Like a lot of times, if something is going down in your relationship as a woman, if you are a mature woman and you know yourself, you might go with your instincts, and try to talk about what's happening. And I don't think that happens with men. They might try to stuff it and ignore it, as opposed to saying to themselves, I know she's cheating. she left here with panties on and she came back with none, or they'll try to rationalize until they see, I don't know, see it happening. Maybe I don't know. You tell me, Darrell.
What is that white stuff leaking down your leg? And where are your panties?
Oh my God.
I mean, I hear it all the time from men saying that they didn't know that somebody was coming on to them until the girl was in their lap. Stuff like that. Because and I don't believe that all the time, but for some, I think it is true that they are being pretty oblivious to what's happening.
Well, it's like a willful ignorance, right? Because if the girl is unattractive to you, you know immediately Gertrude is trying, hey, ain't going down. But when they're attractive, it's like, I didn't even know when she was on my lap grinding that meant anything. What do you mean? There was nowhere else to sit. And I was like, she sat on my lap. It didn't mean anything. So it's almost like a willful ignorance. Like, but you click it off. you do click it off. It's like, it's better not to know.
So I think the same thing happens in your relationship. Stuff could be going bad and falling down around you, and you just kind of like, it'll be okay.
Right. And again, kind of, we talked about where I think, now I didn't see this anywhere. I'm just throwing this out there. Maybe men know how difficult it is sometimes to get women. It's not easy. So sometimes you'll stay in your situation because you're like, well, this is maybe better than the next one. I'm gonna stay with the devil I know, as opposed to trying to move on, right? Everything else is okay, but the nagging, constant nagging, all the time nagging. But
that's a word you use a lot, Darrell.
But I think you put it in a scale and you weigh it out and say, can I cope with this? Because all these other things outdo this. So you know what? Whatever you like, if the dinner's cooked and the house is clean and your clothes are cleaned and yada, 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 maybe you're like, you know what? I can deal with this as opposed to doing it myself or having somebody else who may not do that. Have somebody who won't do that, right?
You deal with the nagging so you don't have to do the laundry.
Men have historically suffered in silence. Nothing new. Men have historically suffered in silence.
And why is that? I still have questions. Because
I just laid it out, because the house is clean, dinner's cooked. These things are, I would have to do it myself. So
okay. Then you're not woe is me. It's like, okay, you made a choice.
No, that's woe is me. Like, no. You're still picking. No, it is. It's not like I'm happy to do this. I got to listen to you nag. So it's like, okay, I'll take this rather than having to do all this by myself.
What's
I'll
interesting?
Take the nagger.
What's interesting about that word nag? To me, nagging means somebody has to ask you something or say something numerous times. Am I correct? If you heard it or you responded the first one or two, maybe it wouldn't get to a nagging level.
Pay attention, fellas.
That's something I wonder about.
Nagging could mean you're just saying something all the time.
I said,
it doesn't have to be the same thing. It could be the same thing.
Okay.
But how about let's look at it this way. If you said it to me 4 times and I didn't do it, what you gonna say it 5 for? Are you gonna talk me into do it? You gonna force me to do it? Like, what is your goal if I'm already not doing it? So again, I don't know. Again, it's a word out there. If you keep doing something over and over and you're looking for a different response, I can't quite. It'll come to me. It'll come to me.
I think the hope is that you will eventually hear and respond and do. Eventually.
So there we go again. So you're going to force someone to do something.
Not force. That's the wrong word. Not force.
No. That's the exact word. If I keep trying to get you to do something.
Asking, right? Darrell, is different than forcing.
Okay. So it's no different when you come over and it's been the 3rd time y'all went out and you come over and He gets you upstairs. He's like, come on, let me do it. Let me do it. Come on.
That's nagging.
Exactly. And guess what happens? The desired outcome usually happens around 5 o'clock after you asked 900 times. Okay.
So it happens on both ends, I'm hearing. Okay.
That wasn't okay like she wanted to. It was like, okay, I'll do it to get it out the way.
Got it.
Right? So you basically, talk to my ear off. You force their hand. Okay? So
I needed some clarity on that. Thank you.
There you go. That'll help you out. So no. So I think it's at a certain point you got to say, all right, this person's not doing it. Either can you live without it? Can you do it yourself? Or maybe sit down and have a full conversation about it instead of nagging about it. Maybe say, look, this is really could you, whatever the case may be, and really detail it and then see where it goes from there. Because just saying, can you take the trash out? 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 See how annoyed you were? And that was only 5 times, okay? You were annoyed. I think people logged off after the third one, like, we're done with this conversation.
Now you never go back to, after you say, take the trash out, that you don't take the trash out. You never really go back to why that didn't happen. I don't get it.
Well, did you ask? Because all you said was, can you take the trash out?
That's asking, yes.
But did you ask, hey, listen, I asked you to take the trash out earlier. Hey, what happened? What was the reason why it didn't get out?
And
or why didn't it?
Mm-hmm. Could you please?
So then maybe it could spawn a conversation about it, right? But I would rather you eventually, I did ask you to do that. Hey, what's going on? You didn't. I'd rather now we someone try to have a conversation about it and just become, or just being rather than just being a parrot and saying the same thing over and over. Didn't I tell you to take the trash out? Now you're talking to me like I'm a kid. I'm definitely not taking the trash out. Turn the ear off. Trash gonna be there. Because now we have a stalemate. It's who's gonna win? I know eventually you're gonna do it. Okay, I know it. And I can outweight you because I ain't asked about the trash.
That's petty.
And that is what happens. Yes. The person who's not worried about it,
right?
He waited out, and the other person eventually has to do it or stop asking or be an ass.
Right. See, win. Do it yourself. Stop asking. Look at that. We won. See, this is why you got to teach a lesson. That's a learning lesson. I'm not doing it.
Wow. I'm glad we cleared that up. Thank you, Darrell.
I'll let you know. And as long as I know that you'll break before me, I'm never going to do it. I'm never going to do it. I know you're going to break before me. Now, if you get a real one who just starts letting the trash stack up in the kitchen, eventually I'm going to be like, this is ridiculous. You don't see all the trash back there? Then I have to take them out. They're going to be out. They're going to be gone.
I love a game of chicken. That trash should be piled up.
Exactly, Doc. We're going to wait it out. Are you serious?
Ruth, I know you're not waiting it out. I know.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not waiting it out.
Yes, I am.
That bag is going to be on the curb.
Darrell.
You're gonna be dancing that bag out the kitchen.
Darrell, I've learned over the years, wait, hold your peace. Hold your peace and wait. He will eventually get to it.
So, and there you go too. See, that's what whatever works. Mm-hmm. If you know they'll eventually get to it, that to me makes sense. If you're like, all right, I asked for it, I'm just gonna wait till they do it. Yes. Then they'll do it when they feel like sometimes that pressure is not there, and they feel like they're doing it now because I want to do it. You know what I mean?
But the funny thing is if we go back to the topic of who fights harder or who fights, period. The funny thing is all those things that you asked to do get done when the relationship is on the rocks. When you talking about leaving, when you start talking about, this might not work for me, all that stuff get done. Trash get taken out every
single day. Interesting.
Everything that you asked for.
I don't know if that's going across the board either. I don't know.
She's right about that.
I think that's very anecdotal because I wasn't doing it before.
I'm not saying just men. I'm talking about men and women. Mm-hmm. People, when they feel, if they want the relationship, when the relationship is on the rocks, they start doing all the stuff their partner brought to their attention, or they start
I'd
trying to
agree
do
with
some
you.
things.
Why
Well,
then?
see, well, the problem with that is it's only for the season. Then it's only for that moment,
Exactly. Yes.
right?
Yes.
It's only for that moment
Nothing is long term with that
No.
kind
Right.
of behavior. That's true.
Well, that kind of makes sense too, because now you kind of stirred something up. But then what happens is that becomes the relationship now. Now, when I know things are kind of not, I'm like, no, I'm leaving. Oh, shoot, I got to go around. And I'm back to doing those things again. And that becomes a new
It can
play
become
you
a
have.
pattern in the relationship.
Right.
Yeah.
That becomes the play. And you guys just act that
Or
over
the
over
dance,
and over
that
again.
dance we call it,
The
right?
dance, right. Right. So again, what I'm still seeing, women are really leading to the destruction of these relationships.
You
They're
know
really
what?
seeing that.
And you're
And I know
saying
we got to put it out there, fellas. We got to say what it is. Sometimes we got to just put it out there. Women need to get it together.
wow.
You know what I mean? Because women are destroying families.
Oh
Not
my
true,
gosh.
Darryl.
Really?
Not
Us
true,
men are really.
no, not true, Darryl.
Wait a minute. 75% of women are leaving. Us
But
men.
we have to look at the whys. We have to look at the whys.
Well, we always have an excuse, right? You always
They're
want
not
an excuse
excuses.
for the facts. The facts are you're leaving, independently why, right? Because there could be plethora of reasons you could leave, but I know that the men aren't leaving, right? So whatever it is, we're trying to deal with it because we're trying to stick by you.
Or like
We're
you
trying
said,
to hold you down.
or like you said, we're trying not to do
Oh,
this
get
stuff
out of here.
ourselves. Or like you said, no, Darryl needs to stop. Or like you said, we are not trying to do the work ourselves, Darryl.
Well, wait. There's always motives why you're with someone else, right? There's a
But
motive.
that's why
not
you're
just
not
with some,
leaving. You don't want to do
wait.
it.
And women leave because it's financially, and they can get money or a house and get
They're-
another
they
man.
leave because they're tired of
Yeah.
asking you 18 times.
Yes.
So if you're leaving,
women are leaving for happiness.
Thank you.
Women are leaving to look for happiness.
They're looking
Not
for
be
that
dealing
yes,
with.
that slice of happiness, Doc.
Hey,
Yes.
fellas, pay attention.
Pay
They're gonna
attention,
leave
guys.
you to give it to somebody else to leave them. Their
No.
happiness is never really happens.
No.
It just continues to go down the cycle. You continue to leave because
No.
it's what you learn to do.
No.
It is. It's a learn. Actually, it's a defense mechanism. I know I can leave. I know other men are gonna be out there, so I'm gonna continue to do it.
But they don't want just any other man. Like Doc is saying, they're looking for happiness. So they might be looking for the one that's going to take the trash out without nagging 80 times.
And then they'll find another reason to leave him.
Well, wait till we
Okay.
get to that. We'll wait till
So the new man, it won't be the trash. It'll be something else because they're going to nag. It's just in their DNA almost. So they're going to nag. So you find somebody who takes the trash out. Because when we talk to each other, like, man, I took the trash out. You did? I didn't. She was nagging me about taking the trash out, but I took it out. Well, she was nagging me about putting my shoes on the steps. They're going to find a reason. Okay? They're going to find a reason. Whatever it may be. And this is the problem. So all we know are the facts are women are leaving.
Okay.
75% of the time. And even in divorce, they're leaving. They're leaving their family. They're not willing to work it out.
Listen to the mellow in his
Really? Yes.
families. Their
They're
demise
not.
of the family.
It seems like women
Oh
are
my
not
God.
willing to work it out.
Yeah,
They don't
they're-
want to.
Women
They
are
don't
willing
wanna
to
work.
work it out to a certain extent.
So men are willing to work it
Well, you
out
know
to
what?
whatever extent.
Women didn't really have a choice before. They had to stay in relationships no matter what it looked like. So now
Right,
women
right.
are just like,
Options.
I don't have to. I don't have to stay in this.
Options.
Well,
I
see,
don't-
again, women have bought their freedom by having jobs, right? By having jobs and making decent money. They're like, we don't have to stay in this relationship. So now we can, we don't like something, we can leave. And we're going to get half of your money and maybe the house and money for the kids. I'm going to get better each relationship. So it's an incentive to leave almost. It's incentivized.
Stop.
If point out anything I said that was wrong, I won't.
I'm not arguing against the stats, but
Yeah. So this is where we're at. So
There's
and
incentive.
but I don't believe there are incentives to leave.
there are. When again, you can look at it. Look at the woman who tried to get the man and everything was in his mom's name. How shocking that was to the world. She's getting nothing. Oh, men were like, yeah. Women were like, oh my God, because they expected her to get half his money for 2 years of whatever she was doing.
Nagging, as you put it.
Just think about it. She's with a millionaire. She's rich. What are you nagging about? But she found a way. Found a way.
Oh gosh.
Now, some people are just not happy, though. You have to listen to that piece, like Doc saying that you deserve to be happy. People deserve to find they're happy.
I don't know what you're talking about, happy, Ruth. I know in your relationship. I know in your relationship you're not always happy.
No, but I mean the broader picture happy.
I know in your relationship you're not always happy.
No,
you're not
nobody
broader
is.
picture.
No.
You're not broader picture happy.
No,
There's
nobody
times you don't
is.
like each. Yeah, well, exactly. So meaning your happiness is going to fluctuate in relationships. We know this.
Yes.
But you can't leave because, well, you shouldn't leave just because you're unhappy.
No,
Find a way to do it.
And
women are by far leaving because of whatever.
Oh my God. I'm so sad he found that statistic.
I am so sad that he found that. Ruined my whole day. And he's not going to let it go.
Well, I'm sorry that we want to deal in facts and stats and things of that nature. So we can just make it up.
To an extent.
We can make it up if you want. And it's not even close. That's the other thing. It's not even close, right? And it's not 75%. It's not even close. So women are really now, and again, like you said, Doc, this is something that is new. This isn't something that it has been this way, right? And this is just me. I think, with women making their own money and being able to do everything on their own, I have less patience. Mm-hmm. My patience is thin. Paper thin.
Less
So
tolerance.
if you don't take the trash out, I'm going to get a man like Ruth said that can take the trash out.
Less tolerance, less patience, less have to, less all of the above.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And that gets your family destroyed because you have less patience.
Now
your kids in jail.
Dang.
Because the courts gave you the kids.
The guilt.
The courts gave you the kids and they can't see the dad like they're supposed to. They're in lockup. I'm locked up.
No, that's harsh. That's harsh. All right. Stats for the stats. Mm.
It is.
So so when these relationships get to the point of breakup and somebody's got to be fighting somebody's got to be fighting to stay in it. Are the men just saying, all right, if that's what she wants, I'm gonna just go ahead and sign the divorce papers if that's what she wants me to do?
Well, you can't fight it. I mean, if you can't force her to go to therapy, or you can't force him to go to therapy. You can't force her to not sign put the paperwork in. Once the paperwork is in, it's in, right? The law is the law at this point. So if you don't sign it, I don't know how many days it is, but they'll just be like, well, it's done, and we're gonna take even more. So it's not like, once it's done, when someone's done, they're done. You can't talk someone back into being into if they're done.
And one thing about women, and it's anecdotal, and I don't know the stats on it, but most of the time when a woman is done, she's already left the relationship months or maybe even a year or two
mentally
in advance.
Right.
So she's already gone by the time she says, I'm leaving.
True.
Right. More games she's playing.
True.
She wasn't in it. She wasn't in it for the last year and a half.
But
she's talking
Darrell,
about me.
but in that time
And that
right?
last day when she says, take the trash out, she's giving you one more chance.
One more
She's trying to give
opportunity.
you one more opportunity.
And you
the
said
trash
no.
still there,
Wait.
And she's like, all right,
Fellas.
that's it.
Fellas,
I'm
pay
done.
attention. She's been done for a year. She's gonna give you one more chance.
But in that year, Darrell,
No.
in that year, I wonder how much fighting for the relationship in all seriousness did the woman do before the paperwork, all seriousness.
Here we go again. If
Why?
you're done, wait, think about it. If, like Doc said, you were done before you were done, are you fighting if you're done?
No, I mean before you
Well,
were
no,
done.
if you're I'm saying when you're done, you're done. But I'm saying you've been planning to leave. Maybe I didn't phrase it right. You've been planning to leave because it's not
Doc,
working.
I'm
But
sorry.
I think that go ahead.
I'm saying if you're half in and half out, how could something work if you're giving me half? If you're planning to leave, if you got one foot out.
I think that during that time, though, you're doing stuff to see.
That's what I'm saying. Yes. That's the fight I'm talking about.
You don't tell them. You don't tell them that they need to make these changes, or you walking out the door. You're just
you keep fighting,
testing, which isn't fair. You're testing. You're testing each time, saying, "Well, take out the trash, or do this, or do that," instead of saying, "Look, this relationship is about to end if things don't change."
Fellas, pay attention to this, okay? They're telling on themselves. If there's a problem in the relationship and you're playing these "I'ma test you" games, I don't know I'm taking a test that I'm failing. Instead of you saying, "Look, let's sit down and talk about this," and really kind of
yes.
She didn't have that conversation. You said it was a test.
Probably did have it already, Darrell.
No, I said
please stop giving her the benefit of the doubt.
Listen. I said during that time, she's probably running tests, which isn't fair because she needs to have a conversation that this relationship is about to be over. Unless these things change.
So once again, the relationship failed because of her lack of communication. Exactly.
All the time.
Yes. It comes
the
back
woman's lack of communication killed another relationship.
There
you go. The woman.
Right. Because if she's doing these little games, let's
not
play a game. It is a game. You're testing me. Right? I'm a grown man. I don't need to have a test. Right? So if you're testing someone and they don't even know, instead of just saying, "Listen, this is a serious issue. Like, this is really bothering me to the point where I don't know how much longer I can do this. I can't keep doing this." But you're like, "No, well, let me see if you do to take the trash out." He didn't take it out another day, another foot closer, another step closer to the way out.
But Darrell, what if she did have that conversation? Many women do in the fight for their marriage. What if she did, and it's not being heard?
Well, so let's take it this way.
Yes.
I think a conversation maybe need to be had more than once. Because it's more than one time I probably asked you
to have it. It takes two people.
It takes more than one time for me to say, "Please stop nagging me." I've probably said that since the beginning of the relationship, and you still do it. So again, it's okay for you to continue to do it, and we had a conversation, and I stay, but you are, getting mad at something that I'm not doing. Again, conversation may need to be had a couple of times. Because remember,
willing to have it?
Just if he's willing to listen. You know what? You turn my ears off because you nag so much. So I don't hear certain things because you nag all the time. It's the boy who cried wolf or the girl who cried about the trash in the kitchen.
That sounds like an excuse.
It's not an excuse.
Yes, it is. You need to listen.
If someone continues to do the same thing over and over again, and you expect something different to happen, I forget what that's called. It's something. It's going to come to me. It's going to come to me. Again, remember, it becomes a play. It becomes conditioned. Like if you keep nagging, and I ignore, it's the play. I don't hear you anymore. I don't know if you really hear yourself at that point because we're just repeating something without thinking. We're just doing it, right? So, like I said, and I don't know how much that taking the trash out may mean to you, right? It may be insignificant to me. You got to understand that too. It may be insignificant to me. So I don't know how much it's really bothering you. If it's not really bothering me, I can look at it through my lens, like, well, it's probably not really bothering. I know she says it. She nags about everything else anyway. It's just her doing her, right? It's just her being her. But I don't know that thing is unless you tell me, right? So sometimes that's the problem too with the lack of communication, where something that is really important to you or to him, and you don't really express it. So the other person may not know how. If I'm watching the game and you want to come talk to me at work while I'm watching the game, that may be a big issue for some people. I'm watching the game. It's the playoffs. Okay, you want to tell me about, I'm going to stop listening to you about Judy at work, but I'm trying to watch the game. So I'm not really hearing you. I'm trying to do my best. But, we just dunked the ball. I can't make a noise. Yeah, Judy. So, again, that may not be important to you because it's only a game, right? You may not have the same,
I agree with that piece.
Right? So that's what I'm saying. So we gotta show what things mean to us. But I can't test you like if she talks to me on the game today, I'm leaving her. That don't make sense. That don't make sense.
But I just don't want it to be like having repetitive conversations of how serious something is with your partner should not be viewed as nagging, because maybe it's the third conversation seriously about it. It should not be viewed as nagging because we didn't get to what we were trying to get to the first one or two times we discussed it. So let's talk about it again. The husband might see it as nagging. I might see it as let's get a little further with this conversation till we both get what we want.
Okay, I'm not sure what you mean a little further with the communication. I don't know what that means. If you're going to have a conversation, I think you have a conversation. You start talking about things. But again, if you're just nagging, like nagging to me to be like, just take the trash out, without any type of right. Now, if you have a whole conversation, then that's different. So you like, listen, you know, back in the day, I had to take it out, or I got beat, and it gets me nervous when I hear, or I had mice in my house, or I think about mice or bugs, whatever it is. When you start to say how it really feels about, then that's different. Okay. But again, just because you said something once, don't mean I'm going to get it the first time out too.
True. That's what I meant.
Yeah, it gotta be easy because you're still nagging, and I've been asking you since day one to stop doing it.
But can you still respect the fact that it might not be a trauma thing for me, that I just want you to take the trash out so I can have a clean kitchen to cook for you? Can you understand that it may not be traumatic for me?
Hey, listen, you got to remember, everybody has a different understanding. Just because you want me to is not really usually going to get me to do what you want me to, because you want me to. I want you to do it because I said so. All right, well, don't hold your breath.
Doc, help me out.
Don't hold your breath.
Doc, Doc, help me.
Oh my God.
Well, let's switch gears a little bit. I want to talk to when breakups do happen, right? Both people go through some different type of emotions, and they said what I saw, and I think Doc, we talked about it a little earlier. They said women felt depression, they felt fear, and they felt anxiety after a breakup. Okay. Now, men, on the other hand, they said they they felt numb, loss of focus, and anger. So the emotions are very different.
Very different.
Very different. And that loss of focus is really big for men. And I know I've been there a couple of times where, you know, you just space out.
Huh.
It could be at work. It could be anywhere where you just, you know, because you get lost in that thought. And
I should have took the trash out. I should have took the trash
out. Sound effect.
Should have took the trash out.
I should have took the trash out.
I need a sound effect, please.
If only.
Sound effect.
Oh my goodness! Yes,
I like that, Doc.
If I only would have took the trash out.
You know, like that song, I just wanted to dance. She just wanted to dance. If I would have only taken the trash out.
So Ruth and Doc, it might be some credence to that, because so they said that women after the breakup, you know, they experience a high level of physical and emotional pain. Right after that breakup, they experience, and Doc was saying it's an actual pain, not you know, not a pseudo pain, an actual pain,
a real pain in your body.
You feel a real tangible pain.
Wow.
But the difference for women, they say, is that women usually recover fully from the breakup. Right. So they go through whatever the cycle is. I don't know what the cycle, but whatever cycle of breakup is, they go through it and they kind of come out better. And again, we're broad brushing. We're not saying everybody. You might know somebody that fell apart and they never got back. I'm not talking about that. Right. But now men, on the other hand, the initial pain is not as much sometimes, because men sometimes will go, you know, do something to fill that space, fill that void, play basketball, decide on whatever you're doing, something you're doing to fill that void.
Isn't that saying? Yeah, okay, that saying is for women. Never mind.
Yeah, get under somebody.
Yeah.
So, but what they said, and then in that time, they usually do that, maybe some self-destructive behavior, right? All this, you know, drinking, they're doing something, trying not to feel anything. The problem with men, from what I've read, was that it could be a month later, a year later, it could be into that next relationship where now it'll hit them. Now the you know, the pain of that last relationship is now hitting them while they're in another relationship they're not ready to be in. Men take longer to heal and we're talking about a serious breakup, not just some girl these more, serious. It takes them a longer time to heal, if ever. Some men might have had a breakup when they were 7 and never got over it. Just never got the one that got away when I was 7.
That's
their whole life, they're just faking it to make it. And this is why they're not available in their new relationships because they're still grieving over the past relationship. And a lot of times we don't know it. We don't know that we're still dealing with, Shakira from 4 years ago.
Wow.
Because we want to say we're good, and that's what we talk about, where you push things down, but they still they're still affecting you, they're still controlling you, and I'm good, I ain't worried about her. Why you call me her name 3 times, huh? What I didn't say it. I didn't do it.
Isn't that your name?
Yeah, isn't that your middle name?
Middle name. I was going to say middle name. Yeah, that's interesting stats on that.
Right. But I can see that because again, emotionally we don't know how to deal with anything. We can't emotionally, so we just try to fill that space with other things. But eventually, you got to deal with it. And if you don't, you're just going to have a whole bunch of these relationships that don't mean anything. And I can see how men can get into these meaningless relationships or go relationship to relationship to relationship because you never healed from whatever it was. And it might have been 4 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and you never healed. And that's a big problem that men have to deal with. You have to find a way to heal. Our emotional intelligence has to grow. But it'll never grow if we keep telling her we're okay. Yep. We're all right. That didn't bother me. I know I was with her for 3 years. We were going to get married. She left me. It don't bother me. It does.
It does bother you.
It does. And we got to be able to say it does bother me. I am upset. It's okay to cry. It's okay to talk to somebody about these things. We have to normalize those type of behaviors, the behaviors that we call like a B, you're soft.
Yes, the soft behavior.
We need those. We need those sides of ourselves to be whole, right? And that's the problem. A lot of men are whole because we're only aggression, anger, but we're not the other side.
Good point. Good point.
Very true. Very true. So, what are some of the ways that men fight for a relationship? If it's something they really want to stay in.
Well, again, like I said, a lot of times we will just acquiesce, right? We'll just start, like I said, doing whatever it is that needs to be done. Suffer in silence. Ruth, you just suffer.
I was trying to have a stoic face. I was trying not to react.
We saw what your face was looking like. We get it. Again, a lot of times we just try to deal with or take on the brunt of whatever it is because that's all we know, really, right? Sometimes we don't know how to really emotionally connect to you, right? We just don't know. So we're gonna work more. Okay, I'm gonna bring more money in the home. You know what I mean? I'm going to take the trash out. I'm going to carry 19 bags at one time because I can do it. Strong.
Going to buy everything she ever said she wished for if they can.
Even that $3,000 purse.
Yep.
Yeah. The $3,000 purse. Yeah. What you got?
Yeah.
And maybe some men just, try to fight in a way where it is healthy, where they want deeper understanding. They want to know what's going on in their relationship on a deeper level. And so maybe they will acquiesce to going to therapy. Maybe asking you more questions about it. Yeah,
sometimes we got to wave the white flag. Okay, we'll go.
No, but I mean really wanting to go. Really wanting to fix it or make it better.
I think the majority of men probably won't, right? Because we just don't know. So
but if right? If your woman's telling you, you know.
Oh, because she said it, we know. You're right. Fellas, you hear what she said? Fellas, did you say she said it because she got the acronyms after her name that
no.
make her expert.
But she's letting you know where the bumps are from her end in the relationship.
Doc, don't roll your eyes again like that because that was not okay. I
Thank
saw
you,
that.
Doc. Thank
Didn't
you.
like it.
I deserved it. Gee whiz.
Well, let me ask you guys this. What about the fighting once the relationship is over?
What do you mean?
Yeah, but
Fighting to get it back?
Like some of the even unhealthy kind of things that people do, like showing up at the person's job, or
Oh my.
sending flowers to their new house with their new mate, or what, stuff like that.
It's so funny because those things again are kind of a learned innate. Like that's what you're supposed to do. The relationship could be trash too. That's the other part about it. It could have been messed up garbage, but when someone breaks up, it's like, I can't let her go. Can't let them go. And that's when you go into overdrive to get somebody back just to not pay them attention again. But but it does happen. It does, and that's when you do those things. And the more we accept it, like when you accept those flowers, you're accepting my advance. So now I'm gonna go to the next level. I'm gonna go to popping up at the house. And when you talk to me at the door, even if you tell me you don't want me anymore, you talk to me at the door, I'm coming back because you allowed it to happen. And that's how that fighting happens, where it becomes you're fighting for a relationship that's over, but you both are still participating in it. You're both still giving it energy.
Yes.
Until somebody gets a restraining order. It's not
I
over.
was gonna say,
it doesn't end until there's a restraining order. Stalking is okay. Like I said, it doesn't end until there's a restraining order.
A restraining order or an episode of Snapped, one or the other.
Right. And so we were talking about, I had a training today. They were talking about, the younger relationships, how the dynamic is it's moving so fast that, people are sharing their locations on their phone. This is 13, 14-year-olds sharing your location. And then there's something where you can mirror the other person's phone on your phone. So everything they get on their phone comes to your phone. So now you're reading all their messages, and you know where they're at all times. You know who they're talking to. You know what they're doing. And it's such a controlling relationship, so controlling at such a young age, but they don't see it as that. They don't see it as it being controlling. And so relationships are going to look really different. And I think they're going to be really chaotic and really quick. That's what I think relationships are going to be, because they move so fast. It's microwave. They start, and in 3 months, you're done. And you did everything in 3 months. So you did everything.
Wow.
Not much you didn't do. It's so crazy.
And you're right. I've been hearing that more so recently, where people say they shared their location.
Right.
They knew that their mate was at such and such a place because they pinged them or whatever they do.
Right.
That's a lot.
But it's funny. It's people spend a lot of times what they think a relationship is fighting for the wrong things. Like I said, knowing my location and all that to me is just like, it can be a form of insecurity, right? It can be a form of control. I mean, it definitely depends on your intentions, why you're doing these things. Because my intentions
why else would you need? Why else do you need that information?
Right.
Unless your partner is going somewhere where they might be in danger.
But say they work in the area, they catch the bus home at night or the train, or they work where they have fireworks all time of the years. You want to make sure they get home safe. You want to know their location or whatever the case may be. Right. So intentions are really important while you're doing it. But if you're doing it just to know where they're at, like, well, you were at the gym. I saw you at the gym for an hour and a half. Like, that's weird.
Right.
So, and that's other conversation you want to have around that too. So if you do share a location or something, you should say, these are the parameters. These are my boundaries. Like, you can know where I'm at, but you can't question why I was there. Don't bring up, if you ever bring up why I was somewhere, or I was here so long, or whatever the case may be, or somewhere you didn't know, then I'm no more sharing location, right? We're using it for like safety purposes, or or if you want to meet me somewhere, but that's it. It's not about for you to question every move that I make. So that's something you should implement. If that's something you're comfortable with doing, implement your boundaries around it.
That's another layer. Yeah.
Right. Because it's crazy. People have access to people at all times.
Yes.
They were saying, what we're talking about, so the breakup, they said now blocking is the blocking culture.
Yes.
So what I'm going to do is, but people are using it as a I'll talk to you when I'm ready,
Mhm.
right? And then I'll unblock you when I'm ready. So
Right.
it's used. It's a new silent treatment,
Mm.
right? I'm gonna give you the silent treatment. But people are, since you have access, they said people are writing people on their work emails or their school emails because you can find somebody easily.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
they're finding you no matter where you're at. They're finding a way to contact you. You done block them on every bit of social media, phone, and then at work, bling bling. Hey, babe, just thinking of you.
Right. Restraining order, please.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's very, and then people are sharing their location on their social media. It's just tough. You got to be careful with this type of stuff.
Mhm.
Be careful. And then women use this to break up with us.
Here we go. Here we go.
Another reason for them to leave.
Well, at least we're gonna know where you're at when you leave. I'm gonna track it.
Goodness gracious, it's hard to stay with a woman these days, fellas. I understand your pain, fellas. I'm here for you. Okay. That's what they say. You get a good one, hold on to them. How? They leave.
They don't leave. No,
Take out the trash. We keep telling you.
take out the trash and stop saying nagging, and we're good.
Okay, fellas, pay attention. Stop saying what they're doing, and you'll be okay.
I mean, that's 2 areas. Come on, Darrell. You can't handle 2 areas.
My head hurts now just thinking about it. Like she said it again. And the other thing is that, and this is real. I feel this is real, and this is anecdotally to me. Once you take out the trash, it moves to something else.
Oh, it does. Of course it does.
Right. So it's like, why am I going to open this Pandora's box? Because if I don't take out the trash, it just stops here. You just keep nagging about the trash. But now I'm taking out the trash, and now it's this.
Relationships will always reveal something else that has to be discussed, Darrell. It's called discuss.
It's called being a woman. Because guess what? We don't have a whole bunch of things we're discussing. We're just going to be like, all right, you're finding ways.
Then you should be more on the listening side of listening and receiving.
No, I think you need a girls group to go out to or something else to do other than nag me. Okay, I think you need other things to do because a lot of times, and I don't know, like women just want to talk, and I done talked all day. I got volleyball. I'm training people. Right, I done talked all day. I want peace and quiet.
You didn't talk to me. You didn't talk to her. That's different.
Okay.
Why does she get the leftovers? I want
that's what's left.
I want the full. I want conversation.
No. See, here we go. This is where
I want engagement.
Right.
I want communication.
This is about you. I'm telling you, I talked all day. I know damn me, but I talked all day. I come home. I want to relax my sanctuary. Yes, I don't want to hear, can you take out the trash? 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 I keep telling you to take out the trash. Why don't you never take out the trash?
You get your transition.
I'm going back to work.
Listen to how it works. You talk all day. You get your transition when you come home. And then we talk about stuff. Us stuff.
I don't want to talk about us stuff every day. 365 days a year. I don't want to talk about us stuff today.
Well, how are you going to maintain that relationship? All seriousness.
We got to talk us stuff every day. How about you do something different?
Us every day.
Oh my gosh.
Doc, help me out.
Where your husband at? I just want to give him a hug.
He's upstairs crying. He's upstairs crying as we speak.
No, he upstairs like, oh my goodness, somebody else is taking this. This is what I need. He said his Friday nights have been so good the last couple of weeks.
He said to thank you guys. He really did now. And when I come in, he has his computer set up. You all ready for Friday? I'm like,
yeah, look, ready. He be on the phone like, hey man, listen. Quiet in the room. Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm gonna do whatever I want to do for her. I got an hour and a half. I'm gonna do whatever I want to do.
It's so true. But necessary, okay?
Listen, that's what I'm saying. People need a break sometimes. So at a certain point, give us a break.
Did you see Michelle Obama, sort of on topic, her recent interview, I think it was with Oprah, saying that she did not like Barack in their marriage. They were married 30 years. 10 of those years, she did not like Barack, and they did not get along. So it's happening. It's real. It's part of that balance of a relationship. A lot of people hold them in high regard. What's that?
So why it worked? Because she stayed. If
She
she would have
stay.
left
That's
in that 10 years, right? If she would have left in that 10 years, she would have missed out.
That was her message. Yes.
She stayed. Right. That's what I'm telling you. You have to stay. Sometimes we can't get to the land of milk and honey if you don't go through the valleys.
That's true.
And you got a lot of women I'm seeing are jumping off on the valleys. Like, we're out of here. So they never make it to the promised land.
They don't have to. Like you said, they don't have to.
They don't have to. So maybe if they would stay longer, maybe to get to the point where the trash is taken out. Maybe they left too early.
True.
So, men, don't blame yourself for her leaving. It's not about you not taking the trash out. It's about her not waiting for you to take the trash out. Fellas, see how you did that? You see how we did that?
My goodness.
It's about you.
Misinformation.
Yes, it's about her not having the patience for you to get to the level to be able to take the trash out, fellas. You hear me? You can do it. I know you can. You just need a look. Barack needed 10 years. Barack Obama needed 10 years to take the trash out. Okay? They want to leave in 2 years, in 9 months. Women, you need to have patience. We're coming. Give us time.
All right, can we get that in writing?
You just gave a great example of someone who stayed.
Yeah, she did give that message. That's why she stayed. They worked together. She gave him the benefit of the doubt that he was coming along with things.
And honestly, maybe it took them that long to really learn how to speak to each other.
It could have.
Right? Because like even if you keep saying take the trash out, how you're saying it could be the real problem. Right?
It could be.
Because now that could be a trigger for me. Like, that's how so-and-so talked to me. And I don't know that it's turning me off because of something in the past, but I just know it doesn't make me feel good to do it. So it could be the approach of the woman or maybe the approach of the man, whatever you're saying. We have to learn how to talk to each other.
Right. Because a lot of times people will drop hints, talk in parables, things like that, instead of being direct and talk about, like Darrell said, how important something is to them.
I agree with that. Yep.
Yeah, you can't drop hints and make jokes about it and those kinds of things.
That's true.
Right, because it does become a joke. Because once that, like I said, I already know if I'm already not invested in whatever you're invested in, and now you're making it a joke, it makes it look like you're not invested in it either. So I'm definitely not going to do it. Right? Because I'm like, oh, it's not a big deal, and it doesn't get done. Or I think sometimes, again, we have to learn that some people are just a certain way. If they're not going to take the trash out, you continue to ask them, it's not going to change anything. It's going to make things worse. So at a certain point, you have to make a decision. If I keep doing this, it's not working. Let me try something different. Or if they're doing everything else, then take the trash out yourself. Right?
Or you bring your work husband in to come take your trash out.
Hey, listen. I told you, as long as he puts something on the bills, it's okay. He can come take out what he wants. Take the trash out. Make sure you do the vents. My car needs gas.
Buy the purse for $3,000.
Right.
Hey, somebody got to do it. That's what I'm saying. Somebody got to do it. Right. You know. I just think that we have to sometimes work our approach too.
Yes,
I agree with that.
Work your approach.
Approach matters.
And I think that's what I kind of hear with Barack and Michelle. It's like, it took us so long to really learn how to really stop being this.
Yes.
And learning how to make it do this.
Yep.
Learning how to talk to each other where we both can be receptive of it. Or learning the person, like, this person's not the cleanest person in the world. They're never going to be the cleanest person in the world. So I can't keep getting argued with them about not being the cleanest person in the world. So it's either you just do it yourself or just be able to live with it not being as clean as you want it to be. Some people don't have something in them. They just don't. Some people don't have it.
That's true.
Right? And if you're trying to force this square in this circle, it will never work. And I think sometimes that's what we do. We try to force each other to do things that may be not in our wheelhouse. And then when we try to do it, which I know a lot of time, you try to do something for the woman and then it's not done the way she wanted it done. And now that's a problem.
Well, we do
like a cow corner to the right.
I have a lot of discussions with women, I have to say, with women about that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that turns you off automatically because like I'm already doing something that is not really in what I like or used to doing. And when I do it, you're like, well, these dishes supposed to be dry before you put them in the cabinet.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you do the dishes, you do the dishes, because, I don't know. It's
No, you're
and so
you're right.
we have to work with each other,
I had
right? We have to work with each other.
I had to learn it. Yep.
I don't know. Seems like
Yeah.
you didn't learn it, yeah.
I said work in progress, still working on it. Thank you. I didn't run. I didn't leave. I'm still here. I'm working on it. Hey, Wiz, he's on a roll tonight. Or go behind them. Or go behind them and do it.
Go behind them and do it. Right.
And he won't even know.
But sometimes that can be demoralizing.
Right.
If they notice that
No, you're right. You're right. You're right.
Yep. So yeah, you can't really as long as they don't know you're going behind them.
Yeah,
right?
That's not a good move. But
or don't sit over my shoulder like it's supposed to be like this. What you do it yourself then? All right. If it's supposed to be like that, when you do it like that.
Let me give you an example. My husband insists on putting the trash bag in the trash can a certain way. And it's really, really tight. And the way he does it, it doesn't allow for you to get the full use of that bag. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't have the give.
She arguing about 15 cents
No.
space.
I'm not arguing. This is a different example. So when he's done, I'm like, oh, you changed the bag. Thanks, sweetie. I'll go and I'll fix it so it has more give so that we get more usage out of it. And it doesn't hurt him, doesn't hurt me. Everybody's happy. Move on.
Okay.
That's an example.
Okay. Yes, that's a good example.
Darrell, does that one fit?
I mean, it fits for you. I'm like, hey, listen, I ain't doing it no more.
He doesn't even know. I mean, it doesn't.
Oh, he know now. He know now. He know now.
I don't think he can hear me.
Oh, he watches the replay. Let me know. He watches the replay. He knows exactly what's going on.
But that's a small example of how we can both be happy, not nag about it. Seriously.
Okay, so the trash bag, huh? So, she playing with the trash bag. I put it in, huh? I can't even put a trash bag in right, huh? You got to go behind me? Okay. All right. Okay. Ruth, no, that would be something that is the way you do it, because it's not, like I said, it's not hurting anybody.
Because we did have the conversations before, like, oh, why do you keep doing that? Because and it just started to be a nag. You're right. It started to sound like a nag. I was it's not worth it. Not worth it.
There you go. And that's perfect. After you got to hear yourself sometimes. Like I said this a lot. Mm-hmm. We need to be more problem solvers than, always trying to get someone. Okay, how can I fix this problem? Mm-hmm. How can I fix this thing? Is there something I'm doing that can fix it? Is there something he can do? And that's what we need to do. Try to solve the problem instead of just saying, well, you ain't doing what I asked you to do.
Yeah, that wasn't
right. You said so. All right, he's not changing. He's doing it that way. It takes nothing for me to go behind it and loosen it up some to get this 11 cents of space that I'm missing.
I'm not going back to work. We gonna get all of our usage out of that bag.
Because you want to get all the usage out of the bag. When we start worrying about things that don't matter, this is definitely need something else to do. You need extra workout. You better go to 2 days. Go to 2 days.
May have to pick up a few more students or something. Maybe. We're working.
But think about it, Ruth. That's something that could really be a problem in a relationship.
No, and it was becoming because I was agitated every time I saw it. It was like, ugh. And then he's changing it without any problem. I'm like, why am I making this a big deal?
Right. So, and again, this is how things work. When we find a way to make them work, that's what I'm saying. So again, I think we all get to the point where like, come on, I asked you to do this like 4 times. Right. Okay, wait, I did ask him to do it 4 times. What is going? Take a step back and say, what's going on? Right? Because again, you can't force someone to do something. No. And you keep yelling or telling, and that hasn't worked. What can work then? How can I do this? There's another way I can do it. And that's how we keep these relationships together. That's what men do. That's why we stay in relationships longer. We don't leave. What it looks for? I don't understand.
I just need more examples of when they're staying. What are they doing? Let's give us a little bit more. The ones that are staying and fighting for their relationship, what are they doing? How are they doing?
They're staying and fighting for their relationship. That's what they're doing. not leaving.
Just by being there. Just
There
a
you
lump
go.
on the log. Just being there.
Hey, listen. It's better than leaving. It's better than destroying your family.
For who?
It's better than the destroyer of families. I'm not going to say who it is.
We're back to
but
that,
is a destroyer of families. Right? So, and that's the real thing. And again, I think men are staying because, like I said, they try more, or like I said, they might even know the problem is that bad because you left 6 months ago. Right? And now that we're talking about it, you're not even invested like that anymore. So everything they do at that point is futile. Like you already made your mind up. So they can
and you're not complaining anymore. You're not complaining about anything because
I don't know about that.
Well, no. Once a woman goes silent, once she goes silent,
she dead.
That's a red flag for you. That's a red flag waving.
Listen, they never go silent. Please stop
that. Yes, they do.
They don't. Only in songs. They never stop. Women never stop complaining. They're complaining. Actually, when they're checked out, they complain more because everything bothers them. Before, at least a couple things, and now everything. I can't believe you eating like that. Your mouth all chewing all that. I can't. They're gonna complain about everything now. What you doing coming home for lunch? You'll never come home this early. I can't believe you done came in this house before 5 o'clock, 12 o'clock. What's wrong with you?
That's communication.
That's communication? That's what you're hearing?
She's surprised that you're home early. Yeah, she said,
No. What you doing home at 12 o'clock in your own house? What? How dare you question when I come home?
Say it matters how you say it. She's not going to say it like that.
Oh, she is, because she done. And now she's just rude and petty. You said women fight, women fight differently. And they're going to fight with words and the way they say things and their tone and their hand and their head. I can't believe you home before 12 o'clock.
No,
you doing here? Once you see that, you know what that means. Everything's a question. Oh, you home early today, huh?
No, she could say it in a different way. Like, oh, hi, hon. I'm surprised to see you home so early.
She shouldn't say it at all.
Or if he asks, what's for dinner? She like.
Right. Whatever you buy. Oh, I guess I'm cooking again tonight. Like, I don't want to hear that.
I have said things like that. Damn, I got to make salad and scallops again. Can't we eat out today?
Like, yes, you do. Yes. And make it the way I like it, too.
Woo! It's a wonder anybody stays. It's a wonder.
No. It's a wonder that we stay because we do.
You know what?
Because we care. We stay.
I'm gonna look those stats up myself as soon as we're done.
You can.
I'm shocked.
And they're readily available. Okay. So, but again, we, and I think it's really because again, like I said, it's how we're raised. It's what we see. All that plays a role in how we respond to things. And that's really what it is. The times are getting worse because of a lot of different outside factors. And the biggest factor is people don't know what they want in relationships.
But Darrell, that's an interesting point you made. I'm sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, you can talk. It's
I'll try to remember it.
You can talk. Go ahead.
When you said the way we were raised, because back in the day, women were staying and being the men, like you're saying, and just pedaling through it, staying, keeping that family together. So why isn't that the role model for now for women?
Remember, they stayed because they kind of had to, because they had no money. You can't leave if you got no money.
I forgot about that one point.
If you don't have money or shoes, it's kind of hard to leave.
Okay, I remember that now.
And even if you were making money, it probably wasn't a livable wage by yourself, especially with kids.
So that's why they stayed, because they didn't have money.
Right. And it was what was done.
Yeah.
Now, like I said, more women are making money. They're getting married later because they're worried about the careers and things of that nature. And that means they probably were living on their own for, maybe their whole 20s to their 30s. So they see like, I don't really need a man to do anything. Right. If I need protection, I'll call the police, or I may have something on me that I feel can protect me. I know how to take the trash out.
Yeah.
With YouTube, I know how to now fix things in the home that break. I don't need you to come over and do anything. I have AAA. The world has now made it so you can exist independently of a man, right? The world has took the place of a man sometimes.
Asking themselves, what do I need you for?
Yeah, what
right, really. So again, I told you, submission comes at a price now for a lot of women. It comes at a price, and you got to make more than me for me to submit to you, at least.
Wow.
You know, if you make less than me, you're less of a man, and that's how they're looking at it. So the ideal of relationships and what people look for are very different.
Yeah,
they're very different now, and I said people we have less time to put up with nonsense. Like,
true.
Especially now when at my phone I have access to a menu of whatever I want. You know, I can go on my phone right now and look at, I want this, and you try to holler at this. And for women, it's even easier because there's a whole bunch of men trying to holler at you. So you're like, I want you, and he's going to come. 9 times out of 10, you're like, you want to come through? Yeah.
Wow.
Before you get done saying, do you want? Yes. So it makes it difficult for people to want to stay because like I have so many options, and I have so many options, and I have less tolerance than I did before, and I don't want to go through the hard parts to get to the better parts. I don't want to do. I'm not doing 10 years to get to the next 30. I'm not, which is silly because you should. Yeah. Right. But people, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing a year. Because as soon as the honeymoon period is over, I'm out. Right. As soon as you do something I don't like, as soon as the endorphins of the new relationship are over, I'm done. Yeah. I feel like something's wrong. I don't feel the way I used to feel when I first met you. I don't have the butterflies. That's because you're settling into a real relationship. Yes. But you don't know that, so you feel like something's wrong. I don't feel the same way. I'm done. And that's real. And like I said, until there are more programs.
Go ahead.
It's okay, Ruth. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
I'll wait for you. I see.
I'll submit. I'll submit on this one.
After you started, no, I don't know what I was gonna say anymore. I lost it. I just, you
just talked the comment out of me. Programs.
Programs. Until there's more programs that really show the healthy relationships, it's going to keep going down the hole. They were saying today that especially a lot of so things happen with the youth. They're really into the Blueface and Christian Rock, which all they do is fight all the time. I mean, fight all the time.
Is that a love and hip hop couple or something?
No, he's a rapper. But they made a show that's even worse than Love and Hip Hop. They just fight. Wow. I think we talked about it before, where like you come up to the house and you go in the house and fight. It's not even a storyline anymore. It's not like a storyline and it's throwing drinks. Like you get out the car, you all dressed up like, we here, girl. It's the wildest thing. I watched every one of them one night. It was just, it just never changed. Even the auditions were like, who could fight the best? And it'd be like, some of the girls be pretty and they just want to get your face scratched up and beat up for no reason. It's crazy. But this is what is promoted, and this is what's normal because the kids can't differentiate between real and fake or what's good and bad. And they see this and they see these stars doing it and they emulate it. The relationships are emulating this. So and this Blueface and Christian, I think she's pregnant and they fight all the time and she's missing a tooth because he had knocked it out, but she won't put it back in. It's crazy. Yeah. All they do, Christian Rock and Blueface.
Okay.
If you go on YouTube, you'll see a whole bunch of stuff. I think they recently broke up again. They break up. They fight, and the way he talks about her and talks to her, and
and they get back together.
They always get back together. I think he who did something? Somebody did something. Who? I think Chris Brown. Huh?
Is she Chris Rock's daughter? Because of the name, it sounds like
no.
Oh, okay.
I think the Chris Brown thing came up with Rihanna, and he was saying like, that happened when I was young. Can we get over it or something? And then Blueface got on. He's like, well, you need a girl from the project that you can beat up, and they can fight back.
Oh wow.
Like what? Wait, what?
My, yeah, it's
This is what
So
we're
whoever
doing?
her parents are need to sit her down.
Well, see, the problem is what happens is, now they're making millions of dollars. So you gonna sit the cash cow down?
right,
No.
right.
That's
And the
crazy.
cash cow is
Yeah.
because they do drama,
Yeah,
because they
that's-
do nonsense. And actually, I don't know how much is satire, how much is fake, true, or whatever the case may be. But like Christian Rock, like fought his mother, Blueface's mother, and he fought her dad, and they're fighting
Okay,
everybody.
I won't be looking at up.
No, that's not. No,
Yeah.
that's a bit
So-
much. That's a bit.
Yeah.
Well, again, I think you watch so you know what these people are into.
Yeah. No. I get why.
Right?
Mhm.
And I see it, so I see what they're into. So now I can say, look, to my daughter, this is not real life. I don't
No.
care. It may look like real. It may even be real, but it's not what is healthy.
No.
That's not healthy, right?
Not at all.
And so you need to know what's going on so you can speak to it at times. When the kids come, when they say, well, Blueface, oh, I do know. That's
Yes.
terrible. You shouldn't, that no one should treat each other like that if you care, right? But if you have nothing opposing that view, you know that becomes right. That becomes reality.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Very
but
true,
it's crazy.
Mm.
It's crazy,
Wow.
And actually, he's the one that leaves the relationship all the time because he's like, I'm leaving, but then he comes back.
Wow.
I think he left her again for the last time, but we'll see.
To be continued. To be continued. That's crazy.
So, any last words, ladies? What do we have? Well, we know who destroys most relationships.
Right.
I'm
We
not
have
gonna
that.
say-
We have that clear.
Yeah, we know.
We're clear on that.
Not
So-
not going to say who.
And thinking
Not
about
gonna say
that,
who.
how can we
Yeah.
change those stats, ladies, and
Yes.
stick around a little longer, stay around through the honeymoon period? Understand that that's when the real work starts.
Right.
Let's change what do I always say? Change the light bulb instead of throwing out the whole lamp. Let's just,
Mhm.
work through these things. Like you said, Darrell, a lot of these things are small, and we can make decisions about what we're going to fight about and how we're going to do it, so that we
Right.
can have a relationship, so that we don't, cause the demise of the family. As you, nobody wants that on their head. Nobody wants that on their head.
Well, stop doing
And
it.
Darrell, I should add, teach your children, like you were saying, what's appropriate, what's healthy, what's
Absolutely.
not, so that it
Absolutely.
starts young, and maybe we can get
Mhm.
back to some of it.
Yes.
Right.
Maybe.
Yes.
I think that, like you said, start young. I think that we have to teach women and men, and especially women, that even if they're chasing career when they're younger, they still can have a family and things of that nature. It doesn't mean that, and a man is not just taking the trash out. A man is not just paying the bills. We have to define our roles maybe a little differently as well. So we look at each other differently, right? I think that's what we have to start doing too. And like you said, Ruth, any relationship takes work. The work doesn't stop. It may be difficult at times, but if you're really dating with a purpose and you think this person is someone that you can really be with, and that's the other thing too, I'll say it real fast. I don't know how many of these relationships are really like, I want to be with you forever, ever. I think a lot of these relationships are for now, right? I like you for now. You're attractive or you have something for now, but it may not be a thing where you're really compatible for the long term. Right. So then you waste a lot of time that way. But I think if you're getting in a relationship and it's a relationship that you feel is going to be something this person is compatible with you and you want to spend the rest of your life with them, barring that you know what that means, then understand that you have to go through some things. Right. It's not going to be what we think easy. Love is not easy.
Right.
Love is not always kind. There could be some, right? Love is not always patient. That nonsense they say, it's not. And that's the problem. We have these fairy tales. And love is fickle, right? Relationships are fickle, and sometimes you go through things, and it's within reason. You don't want to be going through the nonsense, but certain things you have to, the trash or the nagging, some things you have to go through to get to the other side.
Well said.
I think that's good. I think you guys spoke to it.
Look at that. We're learning. Look at that. We're learning. The teacher. We're learning from the teacher.
You guys did a really good job.
Hey, look at that. We're getting better and better. Thank you. I'm
Very
about,
good grasshoppers.
right. I'm gonna start accepting clients probably early next year. Just let you know.
I love it. I love it.
But hey guys, thank you guys for hanging out with us again this Friday. It was great to see everyone. With everyone have a good night. But no, we can be reached at the Wells Group, the Relationship Flow. Is it Relationship Flow Instagram as well? No,
Yes.
Sip and Chat. Sip and Chat
There's
or Relationship
Chat
Flow.
and Relationship Flow on Instagram.
Look, we're gonna get it all worked out, so it'll be like really easy to get to. Coming soon, okay? So, but hey, we thank y'all for rocking with us. It was great. If any of these pages, please like, subscribe, thumbnails, like, but all that. We need all that. All right.
Yes.
Have a good night. See you next week.
Bye.
Night. Have a good weekend.